shot.
Welcome back to the extended version. We're here with Cabbie, and you are totally wrong.
Oh,
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
No,
I'm just
I
playing.
feel
Not
what you're
wrong.
saying.
I'm not wrong, but I feel like it was more of a grind back in the day. There's more hard falls. It was more of a physical game.
Yeah, you got the Detroit Pistons, who was like that team, but it's a different game today. I think.
It's a different game
do
today.
you guys honestly think that LeBron James wouldn't be able to dominate those dudes
dominate.
in the late 80s?
I think so, but his game
he's
is
got Karl
different.
Malone's body with Michael Jordan's athleticism. Are you guys? Are you kidding? Ryan?
I agree, but I feel like his mentality of the game is different. It's more of a finesse game. Like he has more of a finesse.
He can finesse you. And listen, his most impressive year was I think year 2 with Miami when Eric Spoelstra said, "Listen, I need you to play in the post," and he shot like 60% from the field. He averaged close to a triple-double. He was virtually unstoppable.
Yes, he is.
And, back in that day, he probably would have to play the 4. But if he played the 1 like Magic Johnson, it would –
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a triple-double
I agree,
in
bro.
1991.
Just if you just look at the era of all athletes in all sports, they're just so much more athletic today. And you take LeBron James, you put him back there.
You think it's the food?
He just like he's like the Monstars in Space Jam. He will legit be the Monstars to them in Space Jam. You bring Michael Jordan to this era, I don't know. Like, is he as successful, Cabbie?
Yeah, because MJ he would change his approach and change his game. He would obviously be a much better 3-point shooter and probably much like Kobe or even Larry Bird. Make sure he hits 100 makes or 1,000 makes before leaving the gym every day. Maybe 100. I think Bird was like 100. I don't think it was 100 in a row, but it was 100 before he left. And he would be playing games like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, where they have like various spots in the key, around the key, on the other end. I've seen them play these shooting games. And Michael, because he was also maniacal about the way that he trained, and Tim Grover his trainer would probably create a training regimen so that his body, he would have the same longevity, but be able to peak, towards the playoffs. But he would definitely be, one thing for sure, be a much better 3-point shooter, because that's the game that we're in right now.
Yeah,
we are
in
shooters.
The shooters game.
A pace and space game.
Yeah.
So
a one-on-one game too. And I think what MJ did back then was he did what he needed to do to elevate himself, literally elevate himself above everyone else. So it's like the saying goes, right? Hey, don't play to the competition, rise above that. And he did that, and there wasn't someone else at his time that gave him that equal to keep him rising. And today he would have gotten more of that, is what I'm saying. He would have gotten more people to keep rising him above.
Here's the thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, Chad.
No, you good.
I don't know if Michael's personality would work in 2021.
It didn't drive. Yeah,
because
didn't drive.
we are
a
lot. There are a lot more safer spaces. There's certain language and dialogue that we have. Mental health and just I don't know. Just the environment is different. Michael is an old school dude, and he's gonna tell, much like Chris Paul. Chris Paul will get on his players, and
I see
some people I've heard in the league don't like playing with Chris Paul because he's got that old school mentality. Very resilient dude. Michael has got that similar DNA.
They expect the best.
More. So I don't know if in a locker room in 2021, like imagine Michael play with Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. Like he would eat those guys up,
they're too soft,
would they be able to perform? Because Michael, I don't know how much he would adjust. He would like turn it down in order to sort of placate his teammates and be.
Wasn't
But do you think that's what's needed in the locker rooms right now? Like in old school, like somebody to advise them and guide them?
You need that experience. I mean, but
I don't know. I mean, Jimmy Butler's got some of that, but Braun isn't that kind of guy. Braun is very much a welcoming, from what I've heard, he's like a great teammate. He doesn't really, he'll get on some guys and some guys will give it back to him, but he's not barking at his teammates all the time, but talent wins. Obviously, Anthony Davis, they could run it back. In 2021, and they are the betting favorites to run it back. Yeah. So
and so you already got a bet. You already have a bet in on that.
Futures.
You got a bet in on that already.
Nah, see, I don't like to ride with and this is probably part of the reason why I lose so many bets. I don't always like to ride with the overwhelming favorites. I like to find some value in my pick. So it could be like a Denver Nuggets. It could be I'm from Toronto, and sometimes I bet emotionally, much to my detriment. I might rock with the Raptors again. Or like the Dallas Mavericks. It's a nice story with Luka Doncic, who took a huge leap up from playing in the bubble from before the restart to playing in the bubble, elevated. And I love Denver. Jamal Murray's a Canadian kid.
Yeah,
and
he's a baller.
He was incredible. Him and Jokic should just have unbelievable chemistry. Yeah. So the Lakers, I probably should have put some money on. But I like to pick I'm trying to go for one of those longer shots and then have maybe a potentially bigger payday.
Man, that's what's up. And speaking of payday, guys, let's bring it back to betting. Cabbie, where is betting going? I know you touched on it. Like, what are some of the things? What should we be doing? Like,
we're not even allowed to do that in Hawaii.
Well, I mean,
gambling.
Yeah, gamble, but I mean, there's apps, there's ways you can. So like, I know there's always been, and I've been a pro athlete, so that whole thing, athletes and gambling, it just like there's like that, that the wall, right?
Yeah.
You just can't cross that area. So, if someone is getting into the game, what's the steps? How can someone get themselves? What's coming? Can you leak some stuff? Can you let us know? Like,
well, listen, there are proposals. There are proposed bills in, I think, every state legislature. And, the states, obviously, they operate independently of each other. Mm-hmm. And there's just going to be more pressure. Actually, you know what? States are going to understand that if they get in the game, listen, people are betting all over the place. Some people are betting offshore. Some people are betting on the black market. Mm-hmm. But it's essentially kind of like another tax. So if these states can get in on that, it's gonna help balance their books.
Yep.
And it's certainly growing. And what we're gonna see, and we've already seen it with a couple of ownership groups. I believe Ted Leonsis in Washington D.C. They actually have William Hill terminals at the Verizon Center. So you can go to a Washington Wizards game. You can go to a Washington Capitals game and actually bet before the game and at halftime. And we're going to see that proliferate through the maybe not the NFL first, probably NBA and hockey first, and then the NFL will embrace it. But
it's all about the fan experience. It's all about the more you can do to get them involved.
But I would say like start. Like fantasy sports is like a cousin to betting because it's just they're very closely related, and so many people are in fantasy pools. It could be a March Madness pool, it could be a football pool, basketball pool, whatever. Mm-hmm. Baseball is also very, very popular. So, when you start in fantasy pools, like it's not too far down the road to get to betting. So, there are a bunch of FanDuel, DraftKings. They're only legal in certain states, but I would start following certain accounts. I mean. Follow us. BR Betting is
who do you follow for the betting?
Fun.
Bleacher Report, man.
Yeah, no, but who else?
Who's your BR Betting?
BR Betting, but who else do you follow? Like like you said, you have that girl that you follow.
Oh, Kelly Stewart. Yeah.
Kelly Stewart.
So there are some Instagram accounts that I follow, and these guys aren't famous, but they just are like they're
give them a shout out.
At like a 60% clip, and if
that's
you win
good.
at 60%,
that's
you're
awesome.
a legend.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So there's a guy named Mike Lowry that I follow, a guy named Zenny. We call him Goldie or Silky. Who else am I following? Let me think. This guy, Moneybag Ray, just random Instagram accounts. I'm sorry that I don't have them at the top of my head, but FanDuel and DraftKings, their social media accounts are fun. Like we communicate in memes a lot, and there's we try to have this shared experience where people obviously understand memes. They know SpongeBob, they know Michael Jordan, Will Smith, Kanye, whatever, anything that's in like sort of pop culture. But college basketball is always obviously a fun ride, and a lot of people do, the brackets. I mean, that's just an easy way in. Right. You put a couple bucks down, join a pool, and you might have. I don't even know who are the favorites right now. But there's like the classic, the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the Kansases, North Carolinas, You know,
so you just concentrate on
Gonzaga. I think Baylor's decent this year. Creighton, Wisconsin, the Ohio State. I mean, not the Ohio State, but Wisconsin. You know, there are usually like the perennial favorites. So, you know, I would say if you're entering in the market, bet on a favorite who will most likely win, so you could see a return on your bet, whether it's $5 or $10. Go in easy.
Yeah, go in easy and make sure you save the $5 for the fast food joint, so you're good in case you lose. But no, look, I'm gonna transition again. You know, I'm all over the place, just like I'm on the field here. Cabbie, I know you've interviewed a lot of athletes. I'm going back to your time as a sports TV personnel, interviewer, a lot of athletes. Now, out of all those athletes, you know, we're doing this show. Who on your phone right now that you think you could get us on the show with?
Basically, who can you
hook us up with, man? Who should we run it back with that you can maybe help us get?
That's a great question.
He's like,
are you even allowed to maybe help us and work with us and get us somebody?
I'm just trying to, like, I don't want to. I'd rather under promise and over deliver than over promise.
We're good with that.
All about
We're good with that. We're good with that. And you know what? Hey, Cabbie, it doesn't have to be only an athlete. Remember, we talk about all things. Hey, artists, celebrities. You've talked to a lot of people. I've met a lot of people. Hey, just a little something out there. Just want to throw at you.
Okay, so
you ain't got to answer it right now, but I mean, if there's someone that's coming off the top that you want to, maybe potentially over deliver,
Okay, we'll talk offline. But there's a producer who works with a mega global star in Toronto who enjoys podcasts and who enjoys conversations. That could be, and he's got some pretty good stories. And then there's a quarterback in the NFL who I think would be fun on this. Look,
interviewed a couple of times. Put down the list. We'll chat offline and get together a list and see if we can.
It also helps, Chad, that you're part of the fraternity of professional athletes. So they're gonna more likely say yes to you than my dumbass because you have so many shared experiences with dudes, certainly on the gridiron, but then just in sports in general, whether it's basketball, baseball, hockey, golf, tennis, whatever. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of people willing to run it back.
It's who you know. It's who you know, and we appreciate anyone.
We wish you could come in studio. That would have been cool.
Hey,
if you were here in
Hawaii.
When are you
planning? You ever been to Hawaii, Cabbie?
Never.
What?
No.
Well,
no.
It's got to be on your bucket list.
Question for you: If Tua Tagovailoa and Marcus Mariota were at the same restaurant and there was only one table available at the restaurant, who gets the table out of those?
Oh my God!
Wow.
Okay,
wow. Lanai, I'm gonna ask Lanai. Did you hear Cabbie's
Tua
question?
or Marcus, one table left at a restaurant.
Yeah, if Tua and Marcus came to a restaurant in Hawaii, they only had one table available. Who gets the
and
table?
And then each one of them are with three other people.
They have their own parties.
They have their own
Who
parties.
has more juice?
Who has
in
more
Hawaii? Tua or Marcus?
He said what restaurant? I mean, who right now? Like
I think it would be Marcus because he's older. Respect the elders type of thing.
I would put Marcus at the table and Tua in the kitchen with the chef.
Did you hear that, Cabbie?
Wait, so
he said he'll put Marcus at the table and Tua in the back with the chef. The kitchen with the chef.
Get that specialty dinner.
Oh my
the
gosh.
disrespect. I guess Tua's got to earn his stripes. He's got to win some playoff games and elevate that Miami Dolphins franchise. So maybe things will change for him in the future.
Yeah, and he's definitely doing that. So shout out to Tua, shout out to Marcus, man. Appreciate you asking us that question. That's amazing. One last thing, man. I know you got wifey, right?
Yes.
How is that? And is she in Vegas? Like, you guys obviously both are in Vegas.
Yeah, she comes in and stays for a month or two, and then She, my wife is a chiropractor. She, so she has owns a clinic. So, she's making her bread and I'm trying to do mine. I'm trying to make more bread than I'm losing at these friggin' sports books in these casinos. But I go back and forth more than she does, but we make it work.
I mean, kids.
It's a bit of a gamble, but
everything's betting over here.
Everything's a gamble. What, kids? I mean, is
no, not yet.
No, but is that part of the plan, or is that
I mean, we'll see.
Just a little pause.
Every guy is like that too. It's like,
wait.
Because the women don't have a timeline.
That are just like, I can't wait to be a dad. It's gonna be amazing. Like, I mean, do dudes generally act like that? I mean, I think
the young ones,
the moment when
the
it
18-year-old and 19-year-old
beforehand.
Yeah, you're right. For me, it just kind of happened. It just happened.
Right.
It was not planned, but
then
no,
it's better
that's
that way.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
so
a blessing.
So you just bet basketball and football and you said hockey, but do you also bet like fighting?
Yes.
UFC?
So I bet baseball a little bit, yeah. But listen, I'm a sort of a fair weather MMA fan and a boxing fan. So I only bet on the marquee event. So UFC, whatever, like the pay-per-view, basically the pay-per-views. It could be Canelo, it could be Triple G.
Yeah, he just.
It could be Errol Spence Jr.
Did you bet on the Tyson?
Crawford.
Did you bet on the Tyson Roy Jones fight?
No.
How about the Nate Robinson?
I couldn't find a sports book that would take my money, so I watched it as I bet on Jake Paul to beat Nate Robinson, and I made some money on that one.
Okay, I was gonna say at least you made money for that.
Yo, he like the movie on Friday with that part. You got
Oh yeah, not the bleep out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Nate got internet fame in the worst possible way. He's a meme. There were so many memes for like 48 hours.
He gotta eat with it. He gotta live with that his whole life. It's all good.
It is what it is.
Correct. He will be reminded probably on a daily basis.
Well,
you can't even check your mentions because it's you're getting a certain gif. It's just him either laying on a bed, laying on a couch. Like people just Photoshop you into all kinds of scenarios.
Well, look,
Nate, I'm sure it's been photoshopped into dozens at this point.
That's amazing, brother. And look, we're gonna wrap here, Cabbie.
Okay.
We can definitely talk for hours, brother.
You're right.
Love having you on. Love your energy, and there's definitely more to talk about because betting will evolve. The game will evolve. So would love to have you back on, and we're definitely gonna talk about that. Our wish list that you could really maybe help us out with. But look, Cabbie, appreciate you so much for coming on to the Running It Back podcast.
My pleasure, brother.
So awesome seeing you, man.
Likewise,
see you soon in
man.
Hawaii.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invite, and we'll do it again soon, hopefully.
Yep. Will do, brother.
Sir.
Appreciate it so much. And thank you
You're
all
welcome.
for tuning in. Aloha.
Damn, man. I don't like that we gotta cut it off. I think we should just go like for hours.
I know, but that's just how it works. You know how it is.
That's okay.